people hear that there's nothing to fix, they often imagine doing nothing or just giving up. It's kind of like, great, that sounds so wonderful, right? Create this Zen place, kind of tune out the world. Sometimes we call it avoidance. That's not what I mean. And I want to talk about what it actually looks like in real life to live in the practice of there's nothing to fix. Living without fixing doesn't mean anxiety just magically disappears. It's still going to be there, at least initially. But when we respond to it as though there's nothing to fix and there's no problem to solve, it immediately offers a huge reframe. Then we have some spaciousness, some openness to be able to be with it, to become the space that honors and supports it just being here. So that might sound really out there, depending on where you're at in your experience, especially with something like anxiety. And I would say that for people who experience very high levels of anxiety, such that what I'm saying feels like it couldn't even be something that you can grasp, that's okay. This part may not resonate for you right now. There was a point where it didn't resonate for me. So what I share isn't going to be a good fit for everybody, and I'm just acknowledging that. Appreciate that. What we can learn how to do is have this different response to anxiety. It could look like a little bit less self-monitoring. Am I anxious? What level? 0 to 10? All those kinds of things. Less urgency to do something or have to figure something out. I was really good at that. Figure it out. Do the research. Get the therapy. I've done all kinds of things. All kinds of modalities, or way earlier on, medications and supplements, and nothing wrong with any of the things. We're going to do and find what we need for that time and for where we're at. But when we can learn to notice anxiety in the body and not rush to have to do something about it, that begins to really open up for an entire new experience. And it takes a little bit of buy-in for the mind, because anxiety is being run by one or more parts of us that really do believe something's wrong, there's danger. And as I've been applying it here, slowing down equals danger to a part of us, then trying to force it to calm down, and then anxiety's coming up even further is not what I'm talking about. It's more learning how to play with this in a sense of wonderment, curiosity. One or two open questions, such as, I wonder what this anxiety is here to show me. I wonder what some other meanings could be in regard to anxiety. Notice how it feels as I say those questions. Is there any little bit of sense of lightness, openness? Those kinds of questions and many others similar to that have helped me so much on my journey. And when I'm working with clients and I put a question there, another, like a higher wisdom within us, is what we're sort of tuning into. We're not as much talking to the part that's actually afraid and the one that's maybe generating anxiety in the body, keeping us in that fight-flight zone. But if we're in curiosity, we're starting to open up to self-energy, and I'll be talking about that more in future videos. It's the core of what I, have learned to cultivate in my own body. It's not even just my body, but my consciousness that has the answers beyond survival. So if we ultimately want to go from survival to more of like thriving and flow, what do we need to do to experience that? Well, we need to get answers not from the same consciousness that's creating something like anxiety, if that makes sense. So what ultimately will have an opportunity to change isn't what's happening in life that might be activating your anxiety, because we're all responding to something, but it's the relationship to the experience of something like anxiety in our body that we can have a different relationship with and response to. And this shift can soften things so much. If this way of living feels unfamiliar or even uncomfortable, it's okay. You're not behind, you haven't missed anything, you're just noticing something new. So maybe we could just be with that right now. Just notice how this lands. Maybe there's even a small part of you that feels like, oh wow, that'd be nice. We all just want relief. There's nothing happening that is unreasonable or broken or wrong. It's part of your experience. And when we can learn to slow down in our process just enough to consider there's another way to respond. And the first piece is just being with it. Being with it, if it feels safe to do so, and it doesn't activate to a point of a panic attack and things like that. I'm not encouraging that at all. But we're so afraid of just feeling what we feel. And so much of what we've been taught is fix the problem, meaning the symptom of anxiety, let's say, and how it affects our life, which it does have a very profound impact in so many ways. And I'm not suggesting we try to let the anxiety run rampant. But to go beyond fixing to inviting a very core shift to building self-trust, recognizing we are more than just any one part of us that's got such a focus on what's wrong with me, and we are so much more than what we do and what we achieve. I'll probably say more about that in other videos, and I've made some videos in the past about that. But there's nothing wrong. There's just inviting and noticing and opening up to more curiosity and spaciousness to allow more of you to be seen and experienced in the most beautiful way. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.